Brookside Animal Hospital. Hi. Is this Nada calling about Bailey?
Yeah, hi sir. I think Bailey is a bit sick. She's not been eating well for the past 2 days.
Oh no, sorry to hear Bailey's not eating well for the past couple of days. Any vomiting or other unusual behaviour you've noticed? And is she still taking her carprofen for her hips?
Yeah, she's still taking her medicine, and no, I haven't noticed any vomiting. It's just she's not interested in food as she's used to.
Thanks for letting me know. Since Bailey isn't eating and it's been 2 days, I'd suggest we get her in for a checkup soon. How about tomorrow at 11 a.m. for an urgent visit? Would that work for you?
Can I come tomorrow at 12 p.m.?
Tomorrow at 12 p.m. for Bailey works fine. Shall I book her in for an urgent visit about her not eating?
Yes, please.
One moment. Let me get that on the calendar. I've got Bailey booked for tomorrow at noon. Done. We'll see you then, and I hope she feels better soon.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome, Nada. If you need anything else, just give us a shout. See you tomorrow.
This call you just saw, I didn't tell the agent my name or my pet's name or anything, but it knew everything. It knew my name, it knew my pet's name, his medications, and any upcoming appointments, and was able to use this information to make the call more personalized by mentioning my pet's name in the beginning of the call. It made it seem as if she remembers me and my pet. Now, of course, this only happens if the caller is in our database. If he's not, if he's a new customer, it will be more generic like any other AI assistant. And that's the flexibility that we have. Based on the number calling, we'll use different prompts and different tools for each call which you're going to see. And for this build, we'll be using Vapi, but we will connect it to our custom Node.js backend. And the reason for that is that there is only so much that you can do on Vapi. You can only have one welcome message, one system prompt. You can't have this flexibility of customizing the welcome message and prompt based on the user data. Now, you don't need to worry if you're not technical enough or you don't know Node.js. It's okay. I will do my best to explain the code as much as I can, and the link to the GitHub repo will be in the description below. But before we dive into the technical stuff, here is an overview of how everything works. We have our phone number, which is connected to Vapi. Whenever someone calls this number, Vapi will call our backend, and we use this phone number to search our database. If you find a record with this number in our database, we will pull everything: the customer name, his pets, the medications, and any upcoming appointments. We then use all this data as context to build a personalized welcome message and system prompt and tools. We then send all of this back to Vapi for it to use and to start the call. And if we don't find a record in our database, means it's a new customer calling, we then use a different system prompt, different welcome message and tools. And all of this happens before the call even starts, and it takes less than 1 second. And as you see, 95% of the work is done on our backend. We only use Vapi to buy a phone number and connect it to our backend. We don't add any assistant on Vapi or any welcome message or promise or tools. All of that is done on our backend. So the tech stack that we'll be using: a Node.js backend, Postgres database from Neon, and the Prisma, which is an easy way to communicate with our database. Now, I don't want to waste our time explaining every single line of the code, but basically what you need to understand is that in order to build an assistant or an agent, we need 3 things. We need the prompts, the tools, and the configuration of the agent, which is the voice and the LLM model used. For the prompts, we have 2 templates, one for the existing callers or customers, and one for the new customers. For the tools, we have 4. Book an appointment, cancel an appointment, reschedule an appointment, and register a new customer. And this one is only given to Vapi if the caller is not in our database. And finally, we have the config, which contains the voice and the LLM models that will be used to process the entire call. But before we touch any of that, we first need to check if the caller is a new customer or if he exists in our database. And this happens in the Vapi route right here. We get the phone number of the caller. We use that phone number to build the context, and that context is the customer data, all his bits, and any upcoming appointments. We then return all of this data in one object. We then use this context to build our assistant. And building the assistant is basically, we take a look at the context, and based on that, we decide which welcome message, prompt, and tools we use for the call. If there's no context, meaning we didn't find any records for this phone number in our database, so it's a new customer calling, we set the first message to unknown caller first message, which basically says, "Hi there, thanks for calling the clinic name. Who am I speaking with today?" Then we set our system prompt, which is basically a set of instructions telling the agent how to behave and which tools it can use during the call. Now, one thing I want to mention, the agent is not good with dates. So if I tell it, "Hey, I want to pick a visit for tomorrow," it doesn't know what tomorrow is or the date of tomorrow. So it's going to hallucinate or make up a date and store, basically book an appointment in our database with the wrong date. So, and to fix that, we built a list of the dates for the next 2 weeks, so it knows exactly what the date of each day is, and it doesn't need to calculate or make up anything. And this is done in the build date anchor function right here, which is given to the agent in the system prompt. Now back to our build assistant function. If the customer is in our database, This time we will customize the first message so that it uses the first name of the customer and it mentions his name and his bit's name. And if he has multiple bits, we will also mention their names. Similar to our system prompt, but this time it's gonna be a bit different, as the prompt will have access to the customer data and his bits and his upcoming appointments, as you can see here. And finally, we have the tools. As I said in the beginning of the video, we have 4 tools. So let's go through them. Each tool has a name, audiences, which defines who we should use this tool for, new customers or existing ones or both. In this case, book appointment tool is used by both new and existing customers. Definition, which contains a description of the tool, what it does, so the agent knows what this tool does and when to use it. And the parameters, which is basically what this tool needs in order to run. In our case, in order to make an appointment, we need the bit's name, the date of the visit, and the reason. The rest of that is just option. And finally, we have the handler, which is the actual logic of the tool. This includes both the validations and database queries, which read and stores new data in our database. So before you actually book an appointment, we need to check for a few things first. We make sure the customer exists in our database. And for the customer bits, if we don't find this bit in our database, say for example, I'm calling to book a visit for a new cat that I got, we create this bit in our database if it's not already there. And then we run some validations on the date of the visit. We make sure it's not in the past, we make sure it's within the clinic working hours, and that it doesn't conflict with the dates of other booked appointments. And if all of that checks, we create the appointment in the database. And the same logic applies for the rest of the tools. So if we check the cancel appointment tool, the audience is only known customers, because of course, if a new customer is calling, he's not going to cancel an appointment, he's only going to book a new one. We give it a description, and the parameters that it needs is only the visit ID, which the agent has access to before the call even begins. And for the handler, we just need to check that the visit already exists and that it's not cancelled or completed. And we just update its status to cancelled. The same goes for rescheduling an appointment. It's only used by existing customers. And for this to run, we need the ID of the existing visit and the new date. And then we run some validations, which are somewhat similar to the ones we do when booking a new appointment. We first find the existing visit. We make sure it's not cancelled or completed. We then run some validations on the new date. We make sure it's not in the past and it's within the clinic working hours and that it doesn't conflict. And if all goes well, we update the date of the visit with the new date. And finally, we have the register new customer. And this is obviously only used for new customers. And for this to run, we need the customer name, his bit's name, and the species. And the breed is optional. But before we add him to our database, we run a simple validation. So we just check that we don't have an existing customer with the same phone number. Then we make sure that we have everything we need, which is the customer name, his bit name, and the species. Then we add him to our database. And that is pretty much everything about our tools. Now, if we go back to our build assistant function, remember that each tool we gave it an audience. Now we're going to filter the tools by this audience so that Vapi doesn't get access to the register new customer tool if the customer is already there. And we do that in the build all tool function, which basically filters the list of tools using the audience. And that is pretty much everything. Now the only thing left is the config, which is defined once up here and reused with both new and existing customers. Because obviously we're using the same voice and same LLM model for both new and existing ones. And these are defined in our config file here. And this includes 3 things: the voice, which we are getting from 11 Labs, the transcriber, which converts our speech to text so that the LLM can process this text, and the LLM model itself. Now, in order to change the voice, we simply need to head to 11 Labs voice library, and we'll find tons of voices to choose from. For me, I like the first one, Charlotte.
Hi, it's Charlotte, the sweet, warm, professional voice that is perfect for your audiobook.
And to use it, you simply need to click on the 3 dots here and copy the voice ID. Then go back to our code and paste the ID. And that is pretty much everything you need to know. Now, the only thing left is to connect this backend to Vapi. But first, we need to make sure that our backend is deployed and accessible from anywhere. And this can be done by deploying it to something like Google Cloud. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to use ngrok, which is basically creating a public tunnel so that Vapi can connect to my backend. To do that, I'm going to open a new terminal and I'm going to type ngrok http 3000. This will give you a link like this. You need to copy it and you need to go to your end file and paste it here. Then you need to run the backend. For that, I'm going to open a new terminal, head to the backend folder and run that. Now we need to head to Vapi and you need to grab a phone number from Vapi. I already got one right here. We just need to come down here at the server URL and paste in our backend URL, which we already got from ngrok, followed by the rest of the endpoint. Now, if you're wondering where this endpoint comes from, if you come back to our routes, in the Vapi route, it is right here /assistant request. This is the main endpoint which Vapi will call whenever a new call comes in. And with that, we're good to go. You just hit save and you can call this from your phone. Now we've already seen this working in the beginning of the video where I booked a new appointment. So I'm going to do 2 more test calls, one to reschedule an appointment and one to cancel it.
Brookside Animal Hospital. Hi, is this Nada calling about Bailey?
Yeah, I think I have an appointment booked for tomorrow. I need to reschedule it.
Okay, just to be sure, you want to reschedule Bailey's urgent appointment for not eating, currently set for tomorrow, Wednesday the 13th at 8 p.m. What day and time would work better for you?
Can I reschedule it for the day after tomorrow?
Sure thing. The day after tomorrow is Friday. What time on Friday would you like to move Bailey's appointment to?
Does 1 p.m. work?
So you want to move Bailey's urgent appointment for not eating from tomorrow at 8 p.m. to Friday at 1 p.m.?
Yep.
Let me move that for you. Okay, I've moved Bailey's appointment to Friday at 1 p.m. Done. Anything else I can help with?
No, thank you.
You're welcome. Take care and give Bailey a gentle pat from us. Have a good day.
And now I'm going to cancel this appointment.
Brookside Animal Hospital. Hi, is this Nada calling about Bailey?
Yeah, I have an appointment that I need to cancel.
Okay, just to confirm, you want to cancel Bailey's urgent appointment for not eating on Friday, May 15th at 1 p.m. or would you like to reschedule it instead?
No, just cancel it.
Cancelling that for you now. Bailey's appointment on Friday at 1 is all set as cancelled. Anything else you need help with today?
No, thank you.
You're very welcome, Nada. Have a great day.
Alright, that is very good. As I said, the link to the GitHub repo will be in the description down below, along with the instructions on how to run it. Now you just need to create a database, and you can do that for free by heading to Neon, click on New Project. Just give it a name and click on Create. Then you click on Connection String and copy snippet. Then go back to your code in the N file, just paste it in here. And that's it. If you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment down below. Or if you are a business owner and looking to get this built in your business, feel free to book a discovery call with me in the description below.